We're in session and cause number 330488. The case is style of State of Texas versus Michael Taylor. Is that your full name?
Michael Raymond Taylor.
Okay, how are you doing, Mr. Taylor?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good? All right, Mr. Taylor. I have before me your judge's explanation of rights of defendants without attorney in this docket. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature at the bottom of this document?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials on line stating that you would like to have your case reset so you can hire your own attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Taylor, would you step over here? I need to give this to you. And you could step back on the X. Mr. Taylor, I've just handed you a document that is titled Bond Conditions. It says Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law, number 2. Do you see that? The title.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following the arrest and or accusation in County Court at Law, number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein or ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who, A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 4 does not apply because it only applies in a DWI case, and your case is not a DWI case. Now, Mr. Taylor, if you violate any one of these conditions of your bond may be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail. Now, do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Taylor, please stand on the X in front of our court coordinator, the 4X, and she'll reset your case. And once your case is reset, your case is reset for you to hire an attorney. Once your case is reset, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
All right, thank you.
Larry Anderson. Okay, Mr. Anderson, I have a document before me that is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without an Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature at the bottom of the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials
Yes, sir.
on the line that states that you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney? And Mr. Anderson, I have another document here. This document is titled the Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Anderson, is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Anderson, prior to signing initially these 2 documents that I've just mentioned, did you have an opportunity to read the documents?
No, sir.
You didn't read the
Oh, yes,
documents?
sir. I read.
You read the documents? And did you understand what you read? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Now, Mr. Anderson, based on the information that you provided in your affidavit of indigence, you are an automatic qualifier. That simply means that you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. Mr. Anderson. Let's see what it is. Okay, Mr. Anderson, the attorney that's going to be appointed to represent you in this case is named Charles McIntosh. Uh, 03E. Okay, Mr. Anderson, would you please stand on the X in front of the court clerk? Follow her directions.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that everything provided on this document is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
You can stand back on the X. Now, Mr. Richards, these are the bond conditions that I have for you. And it reads standard bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2. Do you see that title?
Yes, sir.
And I will go over these conditions with you. And it reads, following the return of a criminal information in County Court at Law number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the following additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition?
Mhm.
Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Section 17.44, Section A2, and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Now, condition number 4 does not apply to you because that only applies in the DWI case. However, condition number 5 does apply. And condition number 5 says that the defendant shall wear a global positioning monitoring system device at the defendant's expense with written verification being submitted to the court by 5 p.m. today. Do you understand that condition?
What is that?
GPS.
Yes. Now, my son got a football game. Like, we still interact, we still talk on the phone, we still meet up to get the kid and all that. So how that work?
You need to talk to a lawyer. They can give you some advice on that. But these are the bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2 for your case. All right? You
So
understand
you
now?
can get the GPS.
You probably can get that information, Google it, or I'm sure there's some information you can get to you. I don't have it right here with me. Okay. Now, what I'm saying, you can probably find out, you can probably Google it and you can find out where you can get it in Beaumont. Okay,
So like the ankle monitor?
yes.
So I'm saying y'all do it here.
I don't do it here. No, there's companies that do that.
And I gotta pay for this?
Yes, you will have to pay for it.
And if I don't have money to do it.
You gotta have I don't think I can tell you this, you gotta get the GPS money. Okay? Now, if you violate any one of these conditions of this bond, your bond can be revoked. Your bond may be revoked, and if your bond is revoked, that means that you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail for any violation of your bond conditions. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Okay, so Mr. Richards, stand over here in
what-
front of
what
our
am I
court
Googling?
coordinator. Huh?
What am I Googling? So,
I'm just saying, you're gonna have to, you say you want to find out where you can get the GPS from, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so you could probably look that information up is what I'm saying.
Is he getting a court appointed attorney or?
Yeah, he has a court-appointed attorney too. Here it is.
anytime I don't.
think it's
need
more of a
that
pro bono.
and, you know,
If you want to hire an attorney, you can hire your attorney too.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Oh, I'm sorry, she-
No, he can do it right there. Do you swear that?
Oh, you know
everything on
what?
this
Right
document-
there.
Oh, I made a mistake. It shouldn't be Marvel Provo, it's Lori Perazzo. Skip over Lori.
You can put your name down. Right.
You had it, white out.
if I don't have the money to get this morning about 5, how long that should be?
Well, we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. Here you go, it's Lori Perazzo.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that everything provided on this document is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah,
Who's, is the one on the bottom? of
No,
that?
sir, I put it in order this time.
Okay. See, he has 1, 2, Antoine.
This is your new courthouse. Unless you tell me it's not. Let's do this information out.
Antoine.
This is the authorized person phone number. Verify your phone number.
Anytime she goes drop the case, do I have, what type of?
I can't talk to you about that.
The person to contact you. If he has not contacted you within 24 hours, call this number at the bottom and let her know she can call from the quarter phone to you. Any questions that you have about that, you can ask her if she's your company. Okay?
And on this thing here, I gotta contact y'all. I gotta-
Yes, you need to provide written verification. They're gonna give you something in writing, maybe a receipt or something.
Mhm.
You could either bring it over to the courthouse, the lady behind the blue doors, before 5, the blue doors that's next. If you walk outside that courtroom,
Mhm.
there's some blue doors to the left. You go there and you can give it to her, she'll call us and then we'll be able to get it from her, because we gotta place it in the file that we know that you have it.
Okay.
All right.
Google the monitoring system.
I mean, you probably somewhere in Beaumont, I'm sure they have places that does that. I don't know exactly where. Oh, go down to, see if you can call, Judge, call Callista and see if they have a place. Oh, this is Antoine.
Hey, when y'all give people, that have to get the GPS monitor, what do you tell them to do? Okay, and I'll just give my phone, let's see,
I got 2 cases. 2, 3, 4. Make a copy of this. Thank you. Okay. Harris Antoine. We're in session in two cases. First case is cause number 3305, excuse me, let's strike that. It's cause number 330456 and cause number 330474. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Harris Antoine. Is that your name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Antoine? Doing fine?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Antoine, I have before me two documents. The first document, judge's explanation of rights to defendants without an attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature at the bottom of the line that says
Yes, sir.
defendant? And are these your initials on the line stating that you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is the affidavit of indigence, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, is this your signature where it says defendant signature?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
And Mr. Harris, prior to signing and initialing these documents that I've just mentioned, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Harris, I've read the affidavit of indigence, and based on the information that you provided, you are an automatic qualifier. Look at this. Market best, but he had 0 there.
I had just started.
He just started, he
and
haven't
I haven't got
got
a
a check
check
yet.
yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, he's currently, it's based on his current employment, okay. All right, now, based on the information that you provided to the court, let me just here. You haven't received one yet. What is this?
Wages?
Yeah, what is it? What's his wage information? Well, how much you make an hour and the amount of hours he work a week?
I make 10 hours, but
Okay, that's, how many hours a week do you work?
I don't even know yet, because I'm still in the process of training and
How long have you been working there?
just a week.
Last week?
No, sir, I started this week.
So you just started yesterday?
Yes, sir, like literally, yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. And you're supposed to make, what, $10 an hour?
Yes, sir.
And do they say how many hours a week you're gonna work?
No, sir. I will put the court up on more information as I go with the job.
Is it a full-time job, part-time job?
Part-time.
Yeah, so you, hold on, let me do this here. That'll still be, let me do this here. Part-time. Let's say 20 hours. 1 times 20 times 52. Yeah, that'd be 10,000, yeah. That would be 15,000 if it was, okay. Okay. So based on the information that you provided to the court, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And your attorney, in this case, that's going to be appointed to represent you is Ms. Marva Provo. And Mr. Harris, I have some bond conditions for you. You need to hold on to that, and I'll go over these bond conditions with you. And the bond condition reads,
What's the code?
Mhm.
The code?
for Marva Provo,
Yes, sir.
892. Okay, so Mr. Harris, the title of the document that you have in your hand is Standard Bond Conditions in County Court at Law, #2. Do you see that title?
Yes, sir.
And I will go over these conditions which it reads, following the return of a criminal information in County Code at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state, any other state, or of the United States. Do you understand that condition? Condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol, and the test indicates the presence of drugs or alcohol in the defendant's body. And that's pursuant to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition? And condition number 3, the defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. In your case, you got 2 different cases and you got 2 different victims. Do you understand that? And condition number 4 doesn't apply because it applies in a DWI case. And however, condition number 5 does apply. And condition number 5 states that the defendant shall wear a global positioning monitoring system device at the defendant's expense with written verification being submitted to the court by 5 p.m. today. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Antoine, if you violate any one of these conditions, your bond may be revoked. And if your bond is revoked, you can be placed in the Jefferson County Jail for violating the bond conditions. And your bondsman also will be given a notified as to your bond condition.
How much is the monitor?
I don't know. Sir, you need to take your hat off. Okay. Now, stand over here on the X in front of the court
Sir, can
clerk.
you let me verify your address real quick, please. Is it 38?
Who else was that?
33 Hilton,
Okay, what's that?
44
His name is, what is that, Macy? Mackey?
Spell?
It says Mackey, I think it's Mackey. Where is it? Okay. KD Mackey?
It's a girl.
Okay.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that everything provided on this
Katie?
document
Okay.
here is?
Yeah, how you pronounce your full name?
Katie McKee.
Katie McKee. Okay. How you doing, Miss McKee? That's good. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Miss McKee, I have a document here that is titled Judge's Explanation, Defendant's Right Without Attorney. Are these your initials on this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on this document? And I also have an affidavit of indigence. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And on page 2 of this document, is that your signature? Now, Ms. McKee, prior to signing and issuing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes.
And is everything true and correct in these documents? Okay. Ms. McKee, I've read your the documents. You meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And your attorney is going to be appointed to represent you. In this case, is Mr. Nathan Reynolds. Katie McKee. What's what?
What's Mr. Reynolds' code?
926.
So I have to do another one. That'll be like one more thing. Verify that your phone number It's correspondence, piece of paper, this is gonna be your new court date. This is for office address and phone number. If you haven't contacted you guys today, that's fine. I'm sorry, tomorrow around this time, give her a call, let her know she's been court appointed to you. But hold on, I have to do one for you. Is your phone number correct? Do you have any questions for me?
Okay, stand on the X. For law clerk.
Hello. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear that everything provided on this document here is true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, if the case is not dropped, it's not. I'm sure that you can talk to your attorney about that.
All right, you want to step behind this?
Okay, first, the other one's gonna mirror that one for your page. First one. The other one, first one. Hey, are you doing the photo? Okay, thank you. Hold on just a second, I can't get it in Washington. What are your address to me, please? 10860. Your phone number, please?
Bobby Lott. This is cause number 330480. Case of style of state of Texas versus Bobby Dwayne Lott. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Lott?
Fine, yourself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Lott. I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor, that's titled Judge's explanation to defendants without an attorney. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
Are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on the second document, affidavit indigence, you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on page 2 of this document, Mr. Lott, is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Lott, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of court-appointed attorney. Your attorney in this case is going to be Mr. Bruce Smith. And Mr. Lott, stand on the X next to our court clerk. Hmm?
I'm trying to look into his address.
Oh,
Four zero four, 839-7204. And
here, okay. Could you copy this?
you need to check, sometimes they're taking off once you start phone, so I don't know. But if you want, you can know that. If I'm not calling you, may verify that, oh, I do it, yes, report back what you told you otherwise, this is the office. In the event you have not heard anything by this time tomorrow, please feel free to call his office and let him know that he's been court appointed to you. You have any questions for me? You have a, you're done with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was just, no, I think she needs to,
Yes.
Hello. Raise your right hand for me. You swear that everything provided on this document here is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. Okay. Over here, you need to say anything? No. Okay.
Mine is the longest. That's why I try to get him.
You're good.
Thank you. Change the address, phone number, right, if you tell them it's not to happen. I don't need it. Yeah, that's why I try to grab them.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me, move it to the code phone.
Kenneth Dunlop. Dunlop. Okay, this is cause number 329-708. Name is Kenneth Dunlop. Mr. Dunlop, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Do you recognize this document as titled Judge's Explanation Defense Without Attorney? And is this your signature on this document?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, the affidavit indice, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And on this page 2 of this document, Mr. Dunlop, is that your signature? Now, Mr. Dunlop, is everything true and correct on these documents?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hold on, did I- Mr. Bailey. Okay. Mr. Dunlop, you meet the eligibility requirements. Your attorney is gonna be Mr. Brent Turk. Yes, we'll get that information to you. And I also have some bond conditions that I need to give you. Mr. Dunlop, would you please step right here? And then once you can step back on the X. Okay, Mr. Dunlop, the document that just handed to you is titled Standard Bond Conditions, County Court of Law Number 2. And it reads, following the return of a criminal information in County Court of Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas, all bail bonds executed for release of any defendant named herein are ordered subject to the additional conditions. Number 1, the defendant shall commit no offense against the laws of this state and the other state or against the United States. Do you understand that condition? Okay, condition number 2, the defendant shall submit to testing for drugs and alcohol at any time as directed by the court. The court may revoke the bond and order the arrest of any defendant who A, refuses to submit to a test for drugs and alcohol when directed to do so by the court, or B, submit to a test for drugs and alcohol and the test indicates the presence of drugs and alcohol in the defendant's body, and that's pursuant to Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.44, Section A2 and Section C2. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
Condition number 3, defendant shall not communicate either directly or indirectly with the alleged victim of the pending offense, and the defendant shall not go near any residence, school, or other location frequented by the alleged victim. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, sir.
And condition number 4 doesn't apply to you because you do not have a DWI case. Now, condition number 5 does apply, and it reads, the defendant shall wear a global positioning monitoring system device at the defendant's expense with written verification being submitted to the court by 5 p.m. today. Do you understand that condition? Do you understand that condition?
Yes. I don't have a criminal case.
Yes. Okay. Now, Mr. Dunlop, please stand on the X in front of our clerk or in front of the coordinator.
Verify your address. It is 1140 number 16. A phone number 705.
Leo Tompkins.
Yeah, are you going to write him?
Do you swear that everything provided on this document right here is true and correct to the best of your knowledge? All right. Can you sit real quick for a second? Okay.
Yes, Brent Turk. You need his number?
No.
Okay. Okay, this is cause number 330432, the state of Texas, which is Leo Tompkins. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Mr. Tompkins?
No, all right, how about you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Okay,
Let me give you that.
18, 0 to 18, so you got 1, that's 0 to 18.
Verify your phone number.
Is that 12 or 18?
How
How old is Malik?
18.
18, okay.
No, I was 19.
Huh?
19 is my daughter.
Yeah, I see that, yeah. So there- 0, he got 1 child that's 18 or younger.
This time tomorrow, 25, the contact.
Check.
If not, please contact the
30 to
office.
40 hours.
Highlighted at the bottom, his phone number.
Like 2,000 a month.
You have any questions? Thank you, sir.
Rent, utilities, no child support. Food expenses. It's only 200 a month. Yeah, I don't think he qualifies. That's 24,000 a year.
He got,
Hmm.
let me see.
Yeah, it say Loop Tech.
No,
I can't see that.
he marked public housing.
Oh, well, it wasn't checked. It was,
Yeah,
okay, okay. So he's automatic qualified. You live in public housing? Okay. Thanks for pointing that out to me. Let's see. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay, Mr. Tompkins, your attorney has been appointed to represent you as Mr. Joel Vasquez. Here you go. What else we got? Ernest Hayes. He got Tompkins.
He's on page.
Oh, hold on, no, I see it. I'm pulling it. Joel. Mr. Cope,
Yes, sir.
you have a matter? No, I'm saying do you have a matter that needs to come before the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Boyd,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, that's probably, once, y'all,
Oh, okay.
y'all can approach. And what is the matter?
I had a guy yesterday, and I was supposed to be here, Laramie Cragen.
Yeah, he didn't appear.
He wasn't here. He lives in Kansas, but I wasn't here, and I was in drug impact court yesterday, and I didn't even know. I had it scheduled for October the 27th is what I did, and I don't know why I did it, but I looked down. Because when Melanie called me, I'll call her back.
Yeah, we were
Talking
in
about
court, we
cleanup
told him to give you a call.
Yes, sir. I know, and I was in drug impact court. I saw an 835-8400 number. I thought it was Rachel calling me from work. So I waited, and then when I talked to Rachel later on that afternoon, and I realized she didn't go to work, so I realized it had to be somebody from the court. So I called, and it was too late, and then Melanie called me this morning. Mr. Cragen didn't know. I've got him right here. I mean, he can be on
Well,
Zoom.
I mean, the question is,
But
matter of fact, Cragen, if I'm not mistaken, when the last time we were in court, he appeared by Zoom,
yes,
and we told him the court date, and we told you the court date.
I know, and I just missed the court date. I mean,
Oh, yeah, you missed it, but what was his excuse for missing it?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him yet. I've got him to be on Zoom.
Well, he
right
was
here right
supposed,
now.
he was, okay, well, he was supposed to be here or appear on Zoom or by
Zoom.
telephone. And we didn't get an appearance from him. I mean, it's his appearance. I mean, you're not out on bond. He's the one that's out on bond.
I know, Your Honor, but
Yeah.
this kid relies totally on me. to
Well,
let him know.
I don't know. I think he's had a previous bond forfeiture, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah, so this is not his first time, so.
I don't think he did it intentionally, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
And then-
at this point, I mean, he has a bond forfeiture. I mean, unless he has a,
I think there's a good offer on the table when first, he said he wanted to trial, then he said, no, I'll take the offer. Then he's
I thought the last time that he was gonna take off, he's gonna be here in court. I think that's what was relayed to the court.
So he's moved to Kansas, he's been up there about a year, so
Okay, yeah,
I would hate for him to get arrested and still
Well-
do this, Your Honor, because I didn't let him know, I don't know if his bond would let him know.
I mean,
But I remember being on
the
Zoom.
court let him know when he was on Zoom.
Yes, sir, I was in court, I believe that day, and he was on Zoom.
Right.
Here.
And what we always do is we repeat what your court date is. We tell him, and we tell him that we'll, we tell him his court date. And then we tell the attorney, and then we get attorney a reset date. So it's the same. So it's not like he wasn't given notice. So he was given notice from the court. Let's see.
Please don't have him arrested. Let me get this case together.
Oh, well, I mean. Let's see. Shit.
The other bond forfeiture, I think it's the guy from Stephenville on the bond. Another bond forfeiture was my fault also.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
but,
mean, I'm just,
yeah,
This is his office address and phone number. Call him and let him know you've been court appointed.
I don't know if we're zooming today, but
Hmm?
I told him, I don't know if we can be here on Zoom today, but I told him.
yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, the court is not inclined to set aside the bond forfeiture. I mean, if he can, I mean, you're his lawyer. He has certain, I mean, he has certain things that he probably would be able to do pursuant to the code. So,
If I get him down here to take the offer and take the plea. because it's about-
well, normally when they, if, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Boyd, normally when the plea is over, the bond, the warrant goes away.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, yeah, right now, I mean, he has a warrant out. For failing to appear. Yeah, and that's why, I mean, we had, like I said, we gave a courtesy call as we do, you know, when lawyers don't show, we give a courtesy call
You
to
did.
lawyers. And then, but that's,
I know, y'all did,
yeah,
y'all did your job.
yeah, okay. So right now, unless he has a legal basis for the bond to be set aside, the forfeiture is actually gonna stay in place. Okay. Okay. All right.
All right, let me.
Yeah, if you want to talk to Mr.